Good morning. Who is here with me? Let me know who's here. Mhm. Or is it just me? So I know may take a couple of moments for us to arrive. I see I got a like already. So I'm wondering who that is. I'd love to know who's here. Cindy, good morning. Nice to have you here. How are you doing today? And where are you? You feel like you're always off traveling or something. Hi, Stevie. Aw, that's so sweet, Stevie. Colorado Sea. Oh wow, wow. So wow, the baby came 1 month early. Is everything okay? Is the baby home, or did it need to stay in the hospital for a little while? Good morning, Carolyn. Um, just wondering what is. Oh wow, a girl. Oh, and your niece. That's great. All right. So anything in particular that is needed? Okay. Yeah, a month. But at a month too, that's 36 weeks, right? Lungs are usually pretty developed. So, wow, well, that's great. So she came, when was she born? When was the baby born? That's what I'd like to know. But how exciting. Oh my goodness. 120. Oh wow, that's great. All right. A baby. Well, I'd love my kids to have one when they're ready. I mean, in like great relationships and all that. Wow, 4 pounds, 9 ounces. So little. So little. But yeah, girls are really strong, by the way. Girl babies are very, very strong. And so she'll be 30 pounds in no time, maybe after a year or two. I can't remember. I think my son was 24 pounds at 1 year. My son was huge, though. He's 9.5 pounds at birth. So 30 pounds maybe was like more closer to 2 years or 1.5. All right. Well, so how old is your niece, Cindy, that's practicing with us? And has she practiced yoga before? That I'd like to know as well. Mm, somebody was saying the other day, they kind of made this, I think I was talking to my sister maybe, and she really said something that just really made me think of what it means to practice at home yoga versus being in a group in person. And she said, I don't always want to just push a button and practice. And I felt the coldness in what she said. Like I felt how that could be a cold experience, that you're at home in your environment. And it does take a while to get used to this. Um, oh, okay. All right, good. So an adult. All right. So I wanted to speak about that because I think that was something that I found to be pretty interesting. That when we practice yoga at home, when we practice where we're watching, we're being guided from a screen, depending on what size the screen is. I know some people view classes on a TV, which is a much bigger screen, but for others, it's a smaller screen. Either it's an iPad or a computer. And I know for myself, when I first started teaching virtually, or when I create videos or even practice videos myself, it's just such a small tunnel, really, with what you're seeing. The visual field is so much more narrow. And then you have all of this distraction, visual stuff around you. And then if there's noises or things that are happening in your house, all of that. So because we are so highly wired for safety, we survive today from every person we've came through, right? Every human being that we came through, every grandmother, great grandmother, everyone that we came through, they all survived whatever it is they were going through. And life used to be crazy and hard. My people from the UK, 1/3 of the population was wiped out during the plague. So 2/3 survived. I'm part of that survival. So we are highly sensitized beings. And the optic nerve is one of the ways the brain gets information of, is it safe or is it dangerous? So the visual aspect of what we're bringing in, what we're consuming, is feeding our nervous system. So when you have to now focus your attention on this one little area, we have to actually, there's a discipline that comes to that. For myself, when I practice yoga, whether it's being guided on a screen or in person, I close my eyes, because for me, this is such a mind-body practice, such a spiritual, such a deep healing of Debbie. For me, this is such an act of self-care when I practice yoga, that I close my eyes and I go inside. So I stop the distractions of what's happening around. And it's part of why I teach and describe the posture to you when I'm teaching a posture, because I want you to feel it in your body and constantly find that refinement. And we're either pulling or stretching or compressing our body. And I want you to find the deepest range of motion in that, so that you can gain either range of motion in your joints, flexibility in your tissues, strength in your bones or your muscles. And so when you close your eyes and you go inside, when you're being guided into a posture, find where it is you can bring a little more into the posture. And when you do close your eyes and you go inside, then you are actually more likely to keep yourself safe when you do some of the deeper stretching or even the compressive work that we do in the practice. So I would suggest that today you try to close your eyes as often as possible, that you take out the distractions of what you see. And then there's the part of you that is feeling or sensing who's with you, if you're with someone, or even in your space, in your house, in other rooms. So really creating this sacred space for yourself to practice. This is a mind-body practice. It's an opportunity to come present moment. And the more present moment you are in the nervous system, the more internal deep healing can take place. So when the body doesn't have to try to keep you safe, it can go in and do cellular repair, energy production, detoxification, and all of the other things, digestion, whatever it needs to be digested, because those systems don't work under stress or under fear. The blood gets moved to the extremities to flee. And so for today, this 2 foot by 6 foot space is going to be your sacred space. Closing your eyes whenever you can, letting sound be the guide for you today in the practice, using breath as a way to enter and exit a posture. And in a posture, using breath, inhaling to explore going deeper or farther, exhaling to find that relaxation or that pause wherever you find your body. So this is a profound practice. And yes, we'll get stronger core and muscles and more flexible and all of that. But really, this is you taking care of you. So let's get to it. The basic props you'll need for today's practice are 1 blanket, 1 block, and 1 strap. That'll be the very basics. I've got a little extra today because it is a little chilly and I want to put a blanket on my body. And I'm going to start with a bolster to do a supported back bend. So I'm going to use a bolster to elevate. You could use blocks to elevate your chest. You could use a blanket rolled up longwise so that you could put that underneath your spine, but finding a way to bring support into the spine. So whether you're on something to support your spine vertically, or you could put something across behind the heart horizontally. So find what it is you need. I'll create this in my prop here so you could see that maybe even for future, if you don't have something like this, you could get something. But this elevation from the ground is going to bring more of a pulling sensation, a safe pulling sensation into the arm, because the weight of the arm bones are going to be pulling down, and that's going to stretch the chest and the shoulders. So that elevation today of this spinal extension position and chest opener, for me, it's going to look like this. You choose what you'd like. And then I am going to use a blanket on myself. This is kind of a heavy blanket, and it also will help to keep me warm, because as we go into relaxation, sometimes you can get cool, the body can cool. So you don't want that to be a distraction from relaxation. So get yourself ready in whatever it is you're going to do. And don't come down yet. Close your eyes, stay where you are, find whatever position you need to be in a seated posture or kneeling. Close your eyes. Let your awareness come to your body, to where you are, keeping the mouth closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Keeping your eyes closed. Inhale, open your arms to the side. And exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. Let one hand come to the chest, the other hand comes on top. Inhale to open. Exhale, switch hands. One hand goes to the heart, one hand goes on top of the other hand. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Be in your body, be in the back of your body. Notice what you feel. What muscles do you feel working? What sensations do you notice in your body? Inhale to open, to receive, to explore, to notice. Exhale to relax, to contract, to come back to center. Bring your hands down alongside your body. Palms are reaching away from you. Lift your heart, exhale. Inhale, let your arms come up. Palms are facing up towards the sky. Let your hands find each other right above your head. And then draw the hands down on the exhale to the heart. Inhale, arms are out to the side. Hands together, down to the heart. Inhale. Keep going. Inhale, let your hands find each other, bring them down, straight down in front of your nose, your forehead, your lips to your heart, and then opening on the inhale to the side. And I want you to notice that with the eyes closed, notice how the hands find each other. Don't open your eyes, but feel how aligned your fingers, your thumbs, your palms become. We don't always need to see. There's a deeper sense that exists inside of us. The sense of feeling. One more. Bring your hands to your heart. Eyes are closed, mouth is closed, breathing in through your nose. Let's prepare to enter the sacred space of this moment, this practice, healing, self-care, whatever happens for you in this practice today. Let's bring a gentle hum, a vibration, a calming of the mental energy into the body. Exhale, inhale. Let your hands come down. Gently blink your eyes open. Noticing if in these brief moments you were able to elicit some form of relaxation, because your body feels relaxed. Let's come down and deepen that sensation of relaxation, opening the chest, getting yourself ready in whatever way you like. Coming onto your props, getting yourself into a comfortable body position. Supporting your head or your neck if you need that. And then it's nice to bring some softness into your body here. So let your arms go out to the side. Exhale to bring the elbows down towards the waist. Inhale to let the arms go up towards the back of the wall. Exhale, arms are down. Inhale, up. The farther away from your body the hands are, the more weight is placed in the shoulder joint. So do what's appropriate for your shoulders. Inhale up, exhale down. A moving meditation with breath and gentle movement.
You exhale, elbows come down. You inhale, fingers move towards the wall behind you. Then bringing yourself into an outstretched position, to a place where you feel a substantial and appropriate stretch in the chest, the shoulders, the arms, maybe the hands, the wrist. We're all different. We all feel it in different places. And then when your hands are out here to the side, you may start to notice a little tension developing in the neck or the upper back. Let's help to release that. Inhale. As you exhale, let your head roll towards one side as far as you can, feeling the stretch in the neck, maybe even down to the shoulder. Inhale back up to center, exhale other direction. You inhale back up to center, you exhale to the side. Gentle movement using breath, moving meditation, breath and gentle movement. Feel what's happening in your body. Take one more. Bring yourself back to neutral. Begin to breathe deeper into your chest. Eyes are closed, breathing in through the nose and out of the nose. Let's bring in a humming breath. Humming breath, it's called Brahmari, buzzing of the bees. It's sometimes called. This can have a calming effect on the nervous system. It can help with headaches, not if you have a headache currently, but it can help ward off future headaches or manage headaches and tension release. So you actually, on the exhale, hum for your entire exhalation and focus on that sound, your sound. Exhale, inhale. Keep going, one after the other. Keep humming. It could be gentle and soft. Could be louder. Bring your awareness to your left side on your next inhale. Inhale to the left and hum out of the left side. Mouth is closed. And then switch with your awareness. Your inner eyeballs can look to the right, breathing into the right and humming from the right side. Coming back to neutral, breathing in your nose, humming, keeping the mouth closed, both lungs, breathing into your full torso, humming from your full torso. Finishing up your last breath. Keep your mouth closed, breathing in and out through your nose. Noticing, do you hear any digestive sounds? Notice how your body is feeling. Bring your awareness up to your head and notice if you feel anything in your head. A lightness. Do you still hear that sound in your head? A gentle hum? Bring your awareness to your fingers and your toes. Begin to move your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms overhead, stretch. If you'd like to clasp your hands, and then flip your wrists so that your palms reach up towards the wall behind you. You may feel a stretch underneath the armpits. You may feel a stretch in the belly. Draw the lower ribs away from the pelvis. Press the buttocks towards the ground. Reach up. Deep breaths to your belly. And then go ahead and release. Let's draw the knees in. So the knees come into a bent position depending on what you have behind your body. If you do have a bolster or some kind of support, we're going to do a little bit of mobility with the lower body so that you could feel the difference between torso moving and legs moving. So we're going to work on rotation today, some twisting, which will help to wring out tension in the body, wring out stored tension in the body, muscular tension. It also helps to compress tissues. So it helps to move fluids, move lymphatic fluids, and can support detoxification in the body and immune function. So I want you to understand this rotation that we bring into our body so you keep it safe. So whatever you have behind your spine, whatever support you have, we're going to move. We're going to bring a little bit of movement into the body. So take your legs wider than your body. Hands are down alongside your body. And keep the soles of the feet on the ground. Start to move the legs side to side. Keep your pelvis stationary. So the pelvis is not tilting at all. The buttocks stay on the ground. You're moving the legs side to side, and you're probably going to be feeling the muscles of internal and external rotation stretching. Maybe some inner thigh muscles, some posterior hip muscles. And then you can start going a little bit bigger. So let the soles of the feet roll off the floor. and notice that there's a limitation in how far you could go to the floor. So when we do our twisting, a lot of people try to get their legs to touch the floor. They think that's the goal in twist. And then the torso has to move to keep the low back safe, to keep the spine safe. So this right here, twisting the lower body, this is as far as your legs can go. Most people with this support behind, without letting the opposite side lift off, cannot get the legs to go all the way to the ground. They don't have that much openness in their hips. So pay attention to this. Now take your legs really wide and then start to go. You'll notice here you get a little bit farther. You're going to get a little bit more range of motion in your leg. You're going to feel this in the hips. This is hips. So stretching your hips independent of the spine. And then when we isolate the joints like that, this is a way to keep the joints healthy, to keep that range of motion in our joints. Noticing what you notice here. And then come so that one leg is in. You'll feel the stretch here in the posterior hip capsule. Maybe you'll feel something on the side of the leg, noticing here what you're experiencing. The other leg is moving towards the other side. Maybe you feel the inner thigh stretch. And then bring yourself back up, noticing where you did feel it. Let's go the other side. And then notice on this side what you're experiencing. Do you feel that outer hip? Do you feel that inner hip, or maybe even still the outer? So noticing, is there asymmetry in your body? And then notice if the chest wants to pull up or move with the weight of the legs. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your knees bent. Let's straighten one leg and then bend. Straighten and bend. So warming up the hip joint independent of the torso. Notice what's happening to your pelvis. Do you feel any kind of movement back and forth? Rocking back and forth? Because the pelvis and the core muscles have to activate to stabilize the pelvis when the legs move. And so then if there's tightness in that hip joint, that's going to have an effect on pelvis, and that's going to affect low back. And that's where I think a lot of people with low back issues, that's what a lot of it is. There's tightness in the hips and tightness in the leg muscles. And that's going to affect the low back. Bring yourself to center. Have your feet be hip distance, which means they're about 4 inches apart. And then let your knees open to the side. If this is uncomfortable, if you have a blanket or a block, you could elevate your feet. That'll be a little bit more comfortable. And if you want, you could bring the soles of the feet together, trying to press the knees towards the ground. Notice what's happening to the low back. Notice if the pelvis wants to fly up or the low back wants to fly away from your prop. Can you tilt your pelvis backwards here? So trying now to tilt the pelvis with the legs out to the side. You're going to feel some of those deep hip muscles stretching. You're trying to press the top of the back of the pelvis towards the floor or towards the bolster, if you have a bolster behind you, or if you have a blanket behind you. Feel that backwards tilt. It's called the posterior tilt of the pelvis. Soles of the feet are together, starting to really get deep in some of those deep hip muscles. Quite often people say, when I ask, what do you want to work on? Many people say, I want to have hip openers. So these are ways to have more flexible hips, which will help with balance, fall prevention, joint alignment, knee health, low back health, hip health, ankle health, foot health, plantar fasciitis health, all of it, because it's all connected. Bring yourself back to center, bring the knees up. Let's come off wherever you are. If you're all the way on the ground, come down onto the ground. And if you can come halfway, come halfway. And using the hands to push away, to bring yourself up away from the blanket and the props and all of that. Clear your space here. Take your props off that you don't need for now. And then get your blanket. Bring your blanket onto the mat. Come up here to a kneeling position. So today we're going to do a lot with rotation, a lot of body awareness. I find this to be really important for keeping ourselves healthy and pain-free, and really working on maximizing strengthening joints and muscles in a safe way.
So the pelvis is here. We have our pelvis, the largest bony structure in the body, the pelvis. And the bones here, take your hands on your bones here, your hip lights. I call them the hip lights. Like you have flashlights here that are hips, on your hips, hip lights. And then up here are heart lights. So if you had two lights here, these would be heart lights, hip lights. When we do rotation, you have the heart lights moving away from the hip lights, or the hip lights moving away from the heart lights. So this is what is rotation in the body, is having the heart lights moving in an opposite direction of the hips. Now your body, depending on your range of motion and what's going on in your body, at some point, the safety mechanisms in the body will try to bring the opposite lights. So if you take your heart lights and you move them over, at some point when it's as far as you could go, the hips will try to start coming over. And that's where so much tension gets put into the low back, because 80% of rotation takes place here where the low back and the middle back meet the thoracolumbar joint. So hip lights and heart lights, let's pay attention to that today. Where are your heart lights? Where are your hip lights? And what do you feel your body needing to do? Where is it moving towards to help bring in what is safe in your body? Let's begin warming up rotation. Take your head starting up at the cervical spine. Start looking over. Try to keep your heart light and your hips lights forward. Heart light and hip lights stay forward. You're looking up and over. Now let's start going a little bit more. Take your hands on your hip lights. Start to inhale, look to the side. Let your heart light start to move and notice your hip lights go at some point. Come back to center. Inhale to look and to rotate. Come back to center. Feeling and noticing what you notice. See if you could feel those muscles in the torso stretching, those rotational muscles, those deep muscles. Psoas is one of them. And then you've got your rotational trunk muscles, obliques, quadratus lumborum in the back. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's do a little more here. Take your arm, let your arm go. Look where your hand goes. You'll go a little farther now. Where's your heart light? Where's your hip lights? And then come back. Because we're bringing in the upper spine now. Let your elbow be higher than your heart. As high as your shoulder will let it go. Inhale to open. Exhale back. Where do you feel the stretch? And do you feel anything in the low back now? Do you feel that upper spine? Where's your heart light and your hip lights when you come into your rotation? To keep the low back safe, squeeze the tushy cheeks, tilt the pelvis backwards, point the tailbone down towards the ground. It'll limit the range of motion, but you'll start to feel more in the rotational muscles and not in the back. Squeeze the glutes, activate the posterior chain, tilt the pelvis back. So many injuries in the spine happen when people bend forward and rotate. So this rotational force coming into the body, when you have to bend down and reach for something, that's how a lot of people injure themselves. Bending down, gardening, reaching to the side. So notice, where are the heart lights, where are the hip lights? Bring yourself back to center. Let's take that onto the ground. So we're going to lock our hip lights into a location. So you're locking your hip lights into location. Let's take the block actually. So take one hand on the block, bring it a little far forward so you have quite a bit of space between block and knee. The opposite hand is on the ground. And then you're going to exhale. Inhale, start to turn your heart light to the side. Hip lights are pointing down. And then bring yourself back. Inhale to open. Heart lights are moving away. Hip lights are staying straight down. Notice where you feel this. Is it appropriate for you? Come to put the hand behind the head. If you need to take a break, take a break. Exhale. Inhale. Heart lights trying to move to the side. Notice the stretch. Where do you feel the stretch? Keep your head active. Push your head into your hand. Open your elbow. Turn your heart light to the side.
One more. And then bring yourself to the other side. Block to the other side. Hand on the block, other hand on the ground. Exhale. Inhale, rotate the heart lights to the side. Noticing what's your range of motion on this side, and where do you feel that stretch? Bringing yourself hand behind your head. Exhale. Inhale to open. And exhale back. Close your eyes. Feel this in your body. Hip lights are pointing down towards the ground. You're trying to rotate the heart lights to the side. Noticing what you notice. And then bring yourself out. Come all the way out. Take your block off to the side for a second. Come into a rest position between postures. Close your eyes. Noticing what you notice. Either stay up or sit back on your heels. Bring your awareness to your low back. How's the low back feeling? And then take one more breath. So bring yourself up. Want to stretch the back muscles because that'll help when you have more freedom in the back of the body and the top. And we'll get a little bit more movement in the body. So let's take the arms out wide. Bring your hands across. So bring the left elbow on top. Left elbow on top. Walk your hands around towards your back. And then press your hands into each other and wrap. This is called eagle or eagle arms. And you want to have one arm on one side, one elbow on one side, one on the other. So for those of you that cannot do that, you could come down and hold onto your arm. Heart lights are forward, hip lights are forward. You would either draw the arm over, keeping your body forward, or you're able to clasp. Stretching the upper back muscles, push the hands away from your body, lift your hands up, push them into each other, feel that deep stretch in the body, take one more breath. And then bring yourself out of that. Take your hands wide, bring the other elbow on top, walk your hands around, walk, 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 and then wrap or hold on to that arm. Heart lights are forward, hip lights are forward. You're moving the arm by itself, stretching that upper back, or you're wrapping, pressing the arms into each other. Feel that stretch in the upper back. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. So let's come into plank, a nice body, total body strengthener posture here. Modify your wrists according to what your needs are. Take one foot back, stretch the feet, stretch the toes, stretch the heel, stretch the calf, and then do the opposite side. Flipping the toes under, really push through the heel. And then let's come up into plank. So we'll do a minute plank here. You decide what's appropriate for you. Push through the center of the heels, stretching the calves. Bring your awareness to the right foot, all the toes, all five, and make sure that pinky toe is touching, and then push through the heel. So feel that deeper stretch coming into the calf. Now bring your awareness to the left. Make sure the pinky toe is touching, and then the rest of the toes, pushing straight through the center of the heel. Then push your feet into the ground, pushing your heels away, and try to draw your feet up towards your hands. feeling the deep flexors get more activated in your core. Bring your awareness to your right hand. Really push all 5 fingertips in, especially the pointer finger right where it attaches to the palm, and the thumb. And then the same thing on the left, all 5 fingers, pointer finger and the thumb. Really push away from the ground with your hands. Try to slide the hands towards the feet and the feet to the hands. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out and down. Coming into a rest position, whatever that is for you. Close your eyes, stay here. Let your mind and your inner eyeballs go up and down your body. Notice the heart beating. Breathe down to your pelvis. And then blink your eyes open. Sometimes in the practice when we can stimulate the heart like that to beat extra, and you can learn how to slow down the heart with breath, it's actually really great for those that suffer with anxiety and have trouble dealing with an accelerated heart rate. There's a lot of people who are very scared when they feel their heart beating and the heart accelerating. So when you do that in a safe, controlled manner and you're able to slow down the breath with the heart with breath, it actually shows you that you have more control. And so really good tool for us to have, because there's many times we do need to slow down our heart rate. All right, let's come into more rotation. We're going to do this with a lunge. So have your block handy, bring a foot forward. The foot that you bring forward is the side you're going to rotate over. And then you're going to have your block on your hand on your thigh. And then you want your back leg back. So when you come forward, your whole pelvis is what shifts forward. So pelvis back, pelvis forward. The front knee and the front hip bend to bring the whole pelvis. So it's a pelvis that comes forward, not just the head and the chest. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward. And then let's go even bigger. Go all the way back so you straighten that leg, stretching that hamstring. Bring your block so that when you put your hands on your block, you can keep a long spine. Watch the front of your spine. Make sure you do not collapse the front of the spine. So you don't want to collapse the front of the spine. This is terrible for osteoporosis, but also for spinal health. We all have a spine, whether we have osteoporosis or not. So really keeping that awareness and keeping your front spine long. Inhale forward, exhale back. Feel that stretch coming in. Keep that spine long. This hand may help you keep your spine safe. And if you come onto that heel, you may feel, so this will go into glute, hamstring, and then you're going to be stretching hip flexors on the other. One more. Bring yourself forward, come forward, bring your block forward. Now you could stay here. Hip lights are pointing down towards the ground. Heart lights are pointing forward. Turn your heart lights over that front leg. Rotate the upper trunk. You could stay here with this, or you could bring elbow on the outside of the knee, palms together, push your hands together, and then push your torso away from that thigh, the top thigh. If you want a little bit more, some more strength, you could push your toes into the ground and lift the back knee off and come into a deep lunge. Long spine, trying to rotate the heart lights over that front leg. A lot of hip strength in that back leg to lift the leg off the ground. Take one more breath. Bring that foot or the knee back down. Come out of that rotation. Bring yourself forward. Coming to the other side. Go slow because there's a little balance challenge here for the hip joint in a kneeling position. So going slow, challenging the joint. We're going to come forward on the inhale, the whole pelvis, and then back on the exhale. Inhale comes forward, exhale back. Now start to straighten that leg. So you bring it into the hamstring. You may need to bring your block back. You could try it without the block, bringing both hands onto the thigh. Definitely a balance challenge, balancing in that hip joint. One more. And then bring yourself forward. Bring the block forward. Lengthen your spine. Hip lights and heart lights are pointing down towards the ground. And now try to turn the heart lights over that front leg. Coming deeper if that's in your practice. Taking your hands together, pushing them together. Elbows are lifted. Flipping the back toe under if that's what's in your practice. Really push that front heel into the ground. Lengthen your spine, rotate your trunk. Take one more breath. Bring yourself down. Bring yourself out. Come all the way up. Rest. Catch your breath. Close your eyes if you'd like. And then open your eyes. So let's come into a posture, a modified half moon, which actually strengthens the hip and the leg on one side, strengthens the side body on the other side where we're lifting the leg. And then we have to get this rotation in the hip joint that we're weight bearing on. So let's use this awareness of hip lights, heart light to get that to happen. So coming on to all fours, some of you may need a block here to help you find this in your body. So let's all do the same side. Take the block in the right hand, put the left hand on the ground directly underneath your shoulder and spread your fingers, pointer fingers pointing forward. Then you're going to take your left foot, your knee stays on the ground, but your left leg lifts up and you try to move your left foot off to the side. Then bring the block closer to your belly area. Bring yourself up so your heart lights and hip lights face forward. Bring your foot onto the ground. If you're feeling stable here, you could take your hand onto your waist and that'll really let heart light and hip lights, especially that lower hip, face forward. From here, lifting the leg up. Try to keep it as high as your body. Flex the foot, reach through the heel. If you could take your arm up, take your arm up. If the wrist is bothering you, pop up into the fingertips. Lifting that leg. Make sure you really lift your leg. If you want to notice, try to slowly look down at your leg. Make sure you keep your balance. When we move our head, that's the vestibular balance system that starts to get affected. So look at your foot if you can see it. Make sure that whole pinky toe edge is up towards the sky, not just the little toe side, but the heel side. If you're able to bend your knee and reach back and hold onto your foot, adding a back bend, heart light, hip lights come forward a little more. Stretch your body. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out and down. Let's go to the other side. Move slowly so you have more opportunity to load your joints safely and slowly and strongly. Bring your hand forward so your right hand now is underneath your shoulders. Your right foot lifts up, the right knee's on, and you take your right foot off to the side, bringing your block closer to your body. Lift your body up, start to turn the heart light and hip lights forward, and bring the inner edge of the foot on the ground. If you feel it safe and you feel okay balancing, because you're balancing in the side of your hip joint, and if you're not used to that, it might feel a little precarious. Lift your leg up from here. Bring your arm up if you can. And then the adjustments if you need. You could stay in your wrist if you feel appropriate tension, or you could pop up onto fingertips. Maybe I'll come up there. And if you wanted to bend that up, let's look down at the foot. So look down if you can. Ooh, looking at that foot. Make sure that your leg is lifted, that you have the heel up towards the sky and the pinky toes. So really challenging your balance by looking at that leg, that foot, and then bend your knee. Push that front hip joint forward. Lengthen your torso. Take one more breath. Bring yourself back. And then bring yourself out and down. Walk off to the side. Pause in between. And get your strap. Take a hold of your strap above you. Take your knees pretty wide. So you have your hip lights forward. Hip lights are forward and heart light is forward. We're going to move the heart lights to the side. So take your hands above you with your strap. And then exhale. And as you inhale, turning to the side, keeping your pelvis stationary, rotate to the side to wherever you feel appropriate. Really reach up with your strap and then bring yourself back to center. The other side. Try to rotate the upper trunk independent of the lower. Keep your arms straight. One more. And then bring yourself back to center. Have your block and strap handy. Bring your blanket to the top of the mat. And then bring yourself all the way down onto the ground, keeping that front spine not collapsing and not on itself. Blanket underneath your head, arms to the side, bend the elbows pretty high here. Take your feet off the mat. And let's keep your hip light and heart light up to the sky as you do a little side to side. And then go a little farther. Let the hip light start to tilt towards the sides. You can hold on to the top of your mat here so that the weight of the legs and the pelvis tilting can be supported by holding on, helping to stabilize the upper trunk. Lift your toes off beyond your heels. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your right leg over your left leg. So the right leg is directly over the left leg. Your left foot is on the ground. They're touching. There's no space between them. Holding on to your mat or taking your hands behind your head. So we want to stabilize the upper trunk when we do this. Exhale. And then as you inhale, go slow. Your hip lights are starting to turn to the side. You're rolling onto one buttock. The other buttock is leaving the ground. Maybe you feel the stretch in the hip. Press your belly button towards your spine so you keep it out of your low back and you keep it in the side of your body. Keep your shoulder blades on the ground, heart light up towards the sky. We're going to exhale to come back to center, contracting the core. Inhale into this twist. Push your legs away from you as you tilt your hip lights to the side. And back. One more. Stay here. Push the low back towards the ground. Push the leg away from you with your muscles. Shoulder blades are on the ground. Heart lights up towards the sky. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back. So we're stretching the hip, the outside hip. Let's switch legs. Left leg goes on top of right. We're stretching the outside hip, trying to keep this out of the back, finding length in your torso as you do this, and finding stability in the upper trunk so that your legs will only go as far as your muscles will allow. Exhale. Inhale. Let the legs move to the right, pushing the legs away from you so you feel length in your body, and then back up to center. Push your belly button towards your spine. Try to press the top of the pelvis towards the ground so you feel safe in your low back. Isolating this in the side of the hip. And then one more. We're going to hold. So hold, pushing the leg away from you. So trying to isolate this in the side of the hip, knotted to the low back. Heart's pressing up towards the sky. Really push the right arm into the ground to help stabilize you here. And use your core, your trunk stabilizers. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center. Take your legs off. Let's draw one knee in at a time. Slowly rocking across the top edge of the pelvis. And then bring yourself back to center. Grab your block. We're going to do a isolation move where we take our legs off to the side and we hover using the core muscles to stabilize and to protect the spine and your body. So slide your shoulder blades closer towards each other. Lift your upper back off the ground. Slide the shoulder blades closer to each other. Blankets underneath the head. Walk your knees in and take the block between the lower shin area. Let your arms be out to the side. Hands could be down, so you use this for support. So squeeze the block, flex the feet. Contract your core, pressing your belly button towards your spine. Exhale. Inhale, letting the hip lights tilt to the side. Heart light stays up towards the sky. Come to the place where you could hold this hover for 3 breaths. If you want to add a little more, you could straighten the legs. Keep that heart light up towards the sky. And when you finish, bring yourself back to center. Stabilize here. Exhale. Contract your core. And then inhale into the hover. Close your eyes and feel this in your body. Heart light up towards the sky. Hip lights are tilting to the side. And then bring yourself back. Take the block out to the side. Draw the knees into the chest. Spinal undulation to take out tension. Bring the block between your legs. Take your hands behind your head. Walk your feet close so they're block distance. Squeeze the block. Do a couple of squeezes to feel the inner thighs turning on. Exhale. Inhale. As you exhale, activate your core. Activate the pelvic floor. Cinch in your waist. Pubis bone up towards the belly. Low ribs towards the spine. Lift your upper body up. Tip of the nose straight up towards the sky. Inhale to lower. Flatten the lower back for these first couple. Pelvic floor, core, lower ribs, pubic bone moving towards each other. One more. Keep the pelvis in neutral and lift the upper trunk using the core muscles to stabilize. Come up on your next one, stay here. And then bring yourself down, knees into chest. So let's come into a deep twist to take tension out of the body, to compress as much as we can in the abdominal area. Bring your block over to the right. Walk your feet closer to your body and pick up your pelvis and keep your rib cage on the ground, but move the pelvis over to the left. Draw the knees into the body one at a time. Put the block in between the legs, in between the shins. Arms are on the ground, heart light is up towards the sky. And then begin to let your legs move over to the right, trying to keep the heart up towards the sky. If you're not able to do that, you can take the block out and bring the block underneath the legs, wherever you feel you need them, or keep it between. Keep pressing the heart lights up towards the sky, especially the heart, the one on the left side. Bring the right hand on top of the left leg if you'd like, and then let the head look towards the left. Reach long with the left arm. Press the top left leg away from you with muscles deep inside, breathing to your left side waist. Push your heart up towards the sky. Try to keep the heart lights up towards the sky. Hip lights are moving towards the right. Relax with each exhale. If you want to explore a little more, take the block out, take the right leg long, left leg long. Use that right arm to press into the ground to really try to get the heart lights up towards the sky. Take one more breath. Bending your knees. Draw the left knee up and then the right knee. Knees are into your chest. Put your feet onto the ground. Push your feet into the ground. Lift your pelvis up. Move your pelvis off to the right. So you know now what you need the block to be, either on the ground or between the knees. So you could begin with it between the knees or put it on the ground if you know that you're going to need it there. Bring your arms alongside your body. And then moving the hip lights to the left, keeping the heart light up. Use that left hand to help balance the body weight as you move to the left. When you come in, really refine this, pushing that left hand in to get the heart lights up towards the sky. Holding on to the right leg if that's appropriate, pushing the right leg away, letting your head look to the right, arm reaches long. Breathe to your right side. And then if your body needs something different, more deep, if you want to straighten that left leg and that right leg, whatever variation of twist feels good for your body. Finishing your last few breaths. Coming up slowly, bending the knees to come onto your back. Push the feet into the floor, come back to neutral, bring the knees into the chest. And then take hold of your strap. Bring the strap on the feet. Take your legs wide, coming into a happy baby to take that tension out of the back. Soles of the feet are up towards the sky. Legs are really wide, you're holding onto your strap. And then pull the strap down to draw the knees as close as you could get them to your armpits. Flattening the low back. If you'd like to move side to side, you can. Stretching the low back, bringing in flexion into lower lumbar spine, taking the tension out. Or you could hold on to your toes if you're able to grab them with a wide leg stance. Last breath. Take your strap and your block off to the side. I'm going to come into Shavasana, posture of integration, letting everything seep into your cells, your soul. Feel the sacred space below you. The eyes are closed. Your sacred space. Let your body awareness go up and down to notice what you notice about your body. Using your breath. If you want to do Brahmari, buzzing of the bees breath, you could do gentle hums on your exhale during Shavasana. Your choice. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to move your fingers and toes, your arms and your legs, drawing the knees into the chest, letting your body go side to side. Coming all the way onto the side, pushing away from the ground to come up to kneeling or seated. Eyes are closed. Hands down alongside your body, exhale. Inhale to bring your hands up above your head. Let them find each other. Bring them down to your heart. Press your heart to your hands to your heart. We'll close with the humming sound. Exhale. Inhale all the way down to the tailbone. Hands up to your forehead, bowing in gratitude. Rotation can be profound for healing. It can support immune function, support detoxification. It is the best way to create stimulation for the vertebra to get stronger, so to get stronger bones in your spine. It can release tension that's stored in the body from movement throughout the day. And we need to be careful when we rotate, because
we can, if we're not fully aware of what we're doing and we don't allow that safety aspect of the body that's trying to move in that direction, we could go beyond the range of motion and pull things, which is what happens so often with people. So really raising your awareness to your hip lights, your heart lights, and maybe throughout your day, you start to notice that aspect when you're bending forward to get something, and where are your hip lights, where's your heart lights, and just really paying attention to that, because that's what will keep you safe. Is the more body awareness you have, the safer you're going to be. And that's really important to me, is that you stay safe. All right. Cindy, I didn't ask this, but is your niece the one that had the baby? So that was a question. And then the other thing is, oh wait, what else was I going to say right now? Okay, wait. Oh, I also realized that I had you hum today, which I normally don't ever have us make sound, right? I think in 3 years I've taught buzzing of the bees, Brahmari breath 3 times, really. But as I first taught it, I thought, oh wow, Cindy's with her niece. And for some reason, whenever we're with others, for here in the West, our sound, like we don't like to dance much in front of others or voice or sing or even make sound. So I thought, wow, I wonder how that was. So that would be interesting. Oh, it's your daughter. Okay. Oh, Shannon's daughter. Oh, wow. Oh, your daughter gave birth, but you're with your niece. Okay. I think I got it. Hi, Michael. It's nice to see you. I know you've been, yeah, I haven't seen you for a while. So I wanted to share that I have a course starting this week. You could sign up now, but our lives start February 7th, called Healthy Gut, Healthy Bones. And this is about gut health. This is about doing some self-assessments to figure out if you have digestive issues. And throughout the 2.5 months of lives, we'll actually talk about detoxification, rebalancing acidity in the body, the proper diet for bone health, for gut health. And there's a one aspect on stress. There's one aspect on movement that supports gut and digestion and bones, because it's healthy gut, healthy bones. So if you want more information, either come to my website, because we'll have that sales page up today. And it's a 3-month course. It's group. There's no functional labs. There's a lot of self-assessments. I have a lot of ways to self-assess candida, parasites, and to see if you have some issues in your gut. So it'd be a really great way for you to learn about your gut health and then learn what you need to do. What's the plan and the proper steps to take to have a healthy gut. So I'd love to have some of you in that. Great. Yeah. Pickleball, Carolyn, is that pickleball or tennis? And here's the other thing. Yeah. Okay. I didn't even say that, but this is for tennis and pickleball and golf. Yeah, okay, Stevie. Yeah, it's really relaxing. So today's class had a lot of nervous system relaxation aspects, because buzzing of the bees can be super relaxing for nervous system, but also parasympathetic nerves are innervate the spine. And so when we do rotation, we actually stimulate parasympathetic nerves. So it actually, the physical act of putting your body into a rotation, especially in this upper thoracic spine, stimulates relaxation. So yeah. All right. Great. Well, nice to have you all here, and have a great weekend. All right. Thanks. Yes, it is helpful, Stevie. We all need it. I run functional labs on women. I have clients I've been working with for a long time. And I'm going to say that stress is the biggest aspect of everything. So although most people say the gut is the root of everything, yes, the gut is a huge part of health. I'm going to say that the mind is the root of everything. And when you can control and manage your mind, then you've got yourself into a really healthy position. And that's really important. All right. Great day, ladies. I'll see you later. Bye.